All right, we're back, and it's the next day. Super tired yesterday, but it's time to finish this engine off, and I'm going to go ahead and reassemble everything. And I'm not really going to talk a whole lot in this video other than this thing I'm saying right now is I've got the dowel pins from the clutch side case half here, and I'm going to install them and put our OEM gasket from our Kickstarter kit. And let me see here. It's going to be kind of a pretty easy deal. What we're doing today is we're installing this clutch side case half, and we're going to put our electric starter on, and we're going to put our valve cover and gasket on here. And I wasn't going to show that initially, but I'm going to dress that with some black RTV, so that's a bonus for you. So these, you can see these dowel pins are holding the gasket in its place. I went through and did one final wipe down on this. You can see these sealing surfaces are pre-treated on both sides here. So I'm not going to dress this gasket at all. Some people might say, "Oh, you're not going to put some of that RTV on there?" No, I'm not going to. Trust me. Stop it. Get some help. Real quick here, off camera, I installed this seal for the Kickstarter shaft, and I've greased it. And all I had to do is just take something and punch the old seal out, and I used just an upside down socket to drive this into place properly. The other thing that we need to watch out for is our water pump gear here, also made out of this phenolic material. We inspected it, and these things, I don't like them, but we're stuck with them, so get used to it. So what I might have to do is take this back off a time or two and get this meshed into the proper timing to be able to interact with these gears here. Also, I checked our timing on the cams, and they're spot on with the correct timing points on the flywheel. So let's see, I'm putting this into place, and we'll find out really quickly whether or not this gets into a bind. If it gets into a bind, we'll have to move it off of the case just a little bit. And this is a little different than an OEM placement because we have our I almost say the S word, our Kickstarter shaft here and its interactions here. So when we start engaging with the gears here, I'm a little bit ahead on this side. I'm just trying to move it a little closer, and we're clearly not mating up very good. So we're going to index this a little bit and try again. You can see I disturbed our gasket. We're not in a hurry. If these are being particularly annoying, we can use a little bit of RTV or grease. Grease is a great thing to use on gaskets, particularly base gaskets on 2-strokes. Bingo. And that moved right into place. So what I'm going to do now is get our bolts that are quite handily right here. And you know, if you're one of the folks that likes to have their what in the world? Our gasket stayed put here for this side here. This one here, it came off and stayed into place. I think this is the correct. No, it's going to be a shorter one, I think. Bear with me, folks. Let's try one of our shorter ones. My nose just dripped some snot. Here, let's size it up before we put these on here. This is one of the times where, yeah, that's not long enough. That's what she said. Alright, that is the one I'm going to choose. It's not this one because that's too long. Very simple. And here's a quick little something that we can do. I've got the washer on here. Boom. And all I'm doing is putting these into place. I'm not tightening any of them down yet, so I would be tempted to run that one in, but I'm not. These long ones typically go around the clutch side, the clutch cover here. Okay. And then these shorties go here. Fun fact, my grandfather on my dad's side, who would be the senior of my name, the Senior Dewey, we'll just say Senior Dewey, although that's not his first name, and those of you that do know my real actual name in its entirety, please just keep it to yourself. His nickname was Shorty, and that was from when he was in combat in World War II. I have a proud lineage, military lineage in my family. I even considered serving in the military myself. Probably should have. Okay. Okay, so that one doesn't go there. It goes here. This one goes there. Very good. And here's our old cam chain. We'll set it down. And I'm just going to go through here just because I have a little bit of paranoia. And I'm just going to lightly hand start these case bolts. Get a couple threads on them. That way we don't cross thread anything and cause any trouble. I'm going to try to, and I have it on the speed up mode. Whoops, whoopsie daisies. And as crisscross of a pattern in which I can get these to the snug point, except for the first one. Ooh, that one was a little grumpy. Now I'm going to start here. And for what it's worth, I did put a new oil filter into place. Okay. And after the fact, I'll go over here, and I think these are 8 Newton meters. I'm not going to mess with that right now. Put that back to 1. Okay. And also what we did is we put grease on our seal for the starter motor. So we're going to put it into place real quick. When I uninstalled it, I just removed the bolts from the cases, and I put them right back. Just so they don't show up somewhere where I'm not expecting them to be. Yeah, we're taking our sweet time. And I might have to index the gear on the starter if it doesn't want to go right in. All right, this side is up. All right. As expected, it didn't put up any fight. You see, I'm rolling it back to a little bit so where it's the place on the cases lines up with it. And I might have to adjust that just a little bit more. We're almost done. Hang in there with me. Did I mention that we're going to do a playlist on this? And this is the final video of the engine assembly. We're going to do something unique with this build, okay? Okay, I'm just trying to find where it wants to be. Is that it? No? Oh, so it just moves forward slightly. All right. I'm on board with that. I may... Yeah. If I remember correctly, I might have to use an 8mm open end wrench on this one, as close as it goes. Ooh, it's tight. Yeah, because that one's not started yet. Yeah, it's not started. Sometimes getting the finishing touches means you've got to just do some slow and steady things. But one of the things that we're going to do, yeah, there it started. One of the things we're going to do. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. My my own stupidity, friends. Well, we're friends again. My SD card filled up, and so I had to deal with that and delete a couple things. I saved this entire series on again, I'm going to go back and torque that. I saved this entire series on one memory card and haven't deleted anything. And you know, I'm poor. Well, at least I'm computer poor. And what I ended up doing was I edit all my stuff on my phone. So, you know, real motovloggers or vloggers or people that do this stuff professionally, they might shame me for it. But I deserve to be shamed. Alright, taking a look here. I'm going to give this a little wipey out here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple things here. Wipe this out, which I got some goobers off of there. Is I'm going to remove some of this material, this old material. Because, and I probably should have already had this removed. And it's actually not too big of a deal, because it's just kind of excess that got smushed out. And that's what a lot of this stuff is really good at doing, is getting smushed out. There we go. Getting this one out. There's a little bit of residual. And I'm going to get back in here after I uninstall the engine. I did check the clearances, and after rotating it over, a couple of them got on the tight end of spec. But again, after we do our initial run in, they might tighten up, they might loosen back out. I don't know. While I'm here, before I do anything, just because I like to overdo things just a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of Earl on this cam chain. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just going to dress this. I'm not going to dress any of this other surface. I definitely could. On these caps, there's a, still with me? There's a little sharp point here in the center. And this is a sealed cap here. So I just gotta run that sucker in there and puncture it. See how it's punctured? Ooh, we got some gooey. And I like black RTV. I don't discriminate on my RTV, but when you want oil resistance, good old RTV black. And I'll wipe away the excess after we get our head on here. Head on. Applied directly to the forehead. Remember those commercials a few years ago? RTV black. Put on your head. Okay, that looks acceptable. Nice. And I'm probably going to have to get my, you see what I'm doing? I'm on my tippy toes here. And these seals are in place here. You can't see them. Now I'm in the way of the light. Quite simply, I don't have my Allen key for this handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand tighten these, and I'm going to tell you, make sure and subscribe. What I'm going to do about this is I've got the Electron carburetor here. Some of you may know because you see my live that's posted on here when it showed up. Okay, and I'm going to install it on my 2016 DRZ. It's also a stroker big bore. It's not wide ratio gears. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the bass tuning down. for it. So that way we're not cranking on this thing, it's popping over or this or that. It's a brand new engine. I don't want to be running that and doing a bunch of stuff. I want to go directly to it. I want to go directly to starting this thing up. It starts right up, and we get it established that there's no leaks, hopefully. And once we've established that, I'm going to run this engine for about 30 minutes. Once I run it for about 30 minutes, I'm going to bring it back over here and change the Earl, and then I will do an inspection of that oil, all that business, and I'm going to run this engine in a little bit more. But the main thing I want to do is do a comparison video between the FCR39MX and the Lectron Auto 470, and I'll continue that once we get this engine installed, or once we get this engine installed, and it's been a long day. Once we get this engine ran in, I'll do a few pulls on it, but I'm going to do some pulls. I'm going to do basically the same ride with the FCR on the current engine, and then I'm going to do the same pulls with the Lectron installed. We're going to do some comparisons, and we're going to see how this one handles the Lectron. That thing is gorgeous, by the way. So with that, I'm going to say thanks for watching. I'm going to tighten these down and torque these down, and we'll be done with our engine build. Our engine is complete. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.